once again. So, I was telling you that the messenger RNA formed in the DNA as its complementary strand, but there is, by the by, there is difference between the DNA replication where the whole length of the DNA is replicated, but while transcription of messenger RNA, only a only a gene or parts of a gene are transcribed. The DNA length that contains the polypeptide required for the formation of a protein, that part is called gene, and that DNA part is interrupted by introns and exons. Exons are actually genes where code for synthesis of a protein are there, but the introns are non-genic DNA, and the introns remain sandwiched throughout the length of a gene. So the genic parts are of two types, exons and introns. Genic parts are called exons and the non-genic parts are called introns. And throughout the length of a gene, a messenger RNA is formed, and that nascent messenger RNA comes out of the nuclear envelope to the cytosol. Before that, its splicing occurs, where splicing is a process by which the non-genic parts of the RNA are cut and the genic parts are joined, so that the length of the messenger RNA gets shortened and the non-genic parts are eliminated. They have no role. So the nascent messenger RNA that was transcribed by by gene of a DNA, when gets mature after splicing, is of a shorter length, and it comes out through the ports of the nuclear envelope to the cytosol and gets attached to the in between the two parts of the ribosome units, and there are codons. You know that is also like a strand of DNA. So there are nucleotides arranged on the length of the messenger RNA, on which the transfer RNA come and form bonds. Where the transfer RNAs come and bondage formation occurs, those parts of the messenger RNA containing three successive nucleotides are called codons, and the complementary transfer RNA on it, there are also three complementary nucleotides. Those are called anticodons, and each transfer RNA is specific for a for an amino acid. That means transfer RNAs are many and they bring more or less 50 tRNAs are present to bring in amino acids to make a polypeptide chain. And the role of the ribosomal RNAs, which I discussed at the beginning, is to form the ribosomes. So transfer RNA has other properties too. Transfer RNAs have several unusual properties. For one, all the different transfer RNAs of a cell have the same general shape. The regularity of the shape of transfer RNAs makes sense. During the process of protein synthesis, I told you that two transfer RNAs attach next to each other on a ribosome, and a peptide bond forms between their amino acids. Thus, any two transfer RNAs must have the same general dimensions as well as similar structure so that they can be recognized and positioned correctly at the ribosome. An obvious feature, I am giving you the relevant pictures that will help you understand. An obvious feature of the transfer RNA is that it has unusual bases. When this transfer RNA is originally transcribed from DNA, it is about 50% longer than the final 80 nucleotides. Finally, a transfer RNA has 80 nucleotides. That means some transcripts contain 2 copies of the same transfer RNA, or sometimes several different transfer RNA genes are part of the same transcript. The original transcription of transfer RNAs is completely regular. It does not involve unusual bases. The transcript is then processed down to the final size, to the mature size of a transfer RNA by various nucleases that remove some pieces of RNA. And in eukaryotes, a CCA, cytosine adenine sequence of nucleotides is added at the 3' end by a nucleotidyl transferase enzyme. 2 ends are there on the 3' end. Through this nucleotidyl transferase enzyme, CCA sequence is added. CCA means 3 nucleotides, CCA, cytosine adenine, on the 3' end. Then the transfer RNA is further modified frequently by the addition of methyl groups to the bases already in the RNA. And some loops are formed the first loop is formed on the 3' side. It is involved in making the transfer RNA recognizable to the ribosome. Ribosome should have the capacity to recognize a transfer RNA, and it recognizes it with the help of its changed 3' side. The ribosome must hold each transfer RNA in the proper orientation to check the complementarity of the anticodon of the transfer RNA. I told you that on the messenger RNA they are placed as complementary structures, so there should have complementarity. That is the nucleotide arrangement in the messenger RNAs for an amino acid are called codon, and for each amino acid 3 nucleotides are required, and The complementary nucleotides in the transfer RNA are called anticodons. So there must be complementarity. The central loop of the transfer RNA is the anticodon loop. That means that loop remains joined to the messenger RNA. The amino acyl tRNA synthetase seem to recognize many points all over the transfer RNA molecule. I told you that ACC sequence is added on the 3' end of the transfer RNA. The ribosome binding loop on all transfer RNAs has the sequence. In eukaryotes, mature messenger RNAs have some characters, but characteristics on the 5' side, but in the transfer RNAs, the anticodon on all is bounded by uracil on the 5' side. There will be an uracil on the 5' side and a purine on the 3' side. Thus, there is a good deal of general similarity among all the transfer RNAs, consistent with the fact that they all enter protein synthesis in the same way. The actual shape of the functional transfer RNA in the cell is not an open clover leaf, লবঙ্গ গাছের পাতার মতন দেখতে। এর একটা হেলিক্যাল টুইস্টিং আছে প্রকৃতপক্ষে, এবং এর কমপ্লিমেন্টারিটি যেখানে যেখানে আছে সেখানে সেখানে কমপ্লিমেন্টারি স্ট্র্যান্ড তৈরি করছে, ফলে যেখানে কমপ্লিমেন্টারিটি নেই, where there is no complementarity, loop is formed. 3 such loops are formed. One is T loop to the left, to the right side. Another is D loop to the left side, and the third one is the anticodon loop. Anticodon loop is on the codon of the towards the codon of the messenger RNA site. Now some points about the messenger RNAs. These are the RNAs transcribed by the DNAs, and by its name messenger, it is clear that which type of protein is to be synthesized is encoded, that is encoded in the DNA, gets encoded into its complementary RNA, messenger RNA. The matured messenger RNAs have distinctive structural features at both ends. Most of such messenger RNAs have a 5' cap at the 5' end. There is a residue of 7-methyl guanosine linked to the 5' terminal residue of the messenger RNA through an unusual 5' triphosphate linkage. We knew in the case of DNA there were polarity in such a way that in the 5' end there are phosphates, and in the 3' end there are hydroxyls. But here, in case of mRNA, 5' triphosphate linkage is found. This is to be remembered. And at the 3' end, most eukaryotic messenger RNAs have a tail of 20 to 250 adenylate residues, means adenine. This way 20 to 250 adenyl residues are present. This is called poly A tail. The functions of the 5' cap and the 3' poly A tail are partially known. The 5' cap binds to a protein and may participate in the binding of the messenger RNA to the ribosome to initiate translation. that is protein synthesis. The poly A tail also is bound by specific protein, and is likely that the 5' cap and poly A tail and their associated proteins help protect the messenger RNA from enzymatic destruction. This is all about RNA. In the next class, I will tell you something about we were talking actually about the genetic basis of inheritance, and in eukaryotes we found that DNA, and in most prokaryotes, and DNA is the genetic basis, but in some RNA viruses, RNAs are themselves genetic basis. So how that can be proved will be discussed in the next class.